Hello, everyone. This is Jules and Leanne with Becoming BioQuantum, and today is one of our lifestyle discussions. And as everyone may know, we are biohackers and we love to explore our human potential. And today I really want to dive in and look at timelines and pace of aging. And can this be, how do we look at it? Can it be reversed? What does this mean for the future of our bodies and humanity? So yeah, Jules, let's just dive into it. Pace of aging, what comes to mind?
Okay, so those of you that have been kind of following the test results that we got from True Diagnostic, there's another test, that the basic one that we did, that tests your pace of aging, which is called the Dunedin report. And with that, what they recommend, or what your hope for, is that you are actually aging at a slower pace than your chronicle age, which would be kind of being in a mastery of biohacking, right? Is if you're able to, let's say, age only 10 months for every year. I think the best that they've ever had is somebody that's aging 6 months for every year, which is amazing, right? That's huge. So with that, also it can go the other way, where we're actually aging faster than our chronicle years. And yes, that's a possibility. But if we're all kind of on this biohacking journey,
It's highly unlikely
it's
that we're
highly
there
unlikely. But
yet.
that is something. So, like, let's just take all of that. And yes, it's all interesting and it's all fabulous. But I've been really sitting in what this test is showing us is possible, and how we can connect this to the DMT coding, and actually moving the body into a space where it's not looping in, well, let's just say it for what it is, the timeline of the belief systems that our cells are holding, or even just the programming that our cells are holding, because that's what we've been programmed to believe. And our environment is holding that belief system, and we are creating a timeline that we're experiencing age and disease. Okay, so just holding that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just feel like I need to bridge it in because I just keep hearing Dave Asprey's voice. We saying their our cells are like as what was the little soul? No, are as stupid as what did he say? What he said,
Yeah,
but
he said, okay, so he says our cells are stupid. And, and I think it's funny. So Dave Asprey says our cells are stupid, which I say they're only as stupid as they are as unconscious, right?
right,
And
that's what was
then
kind of mine.
Bruce Lipton says our cells are like little soldiers that are being told what to do. So maybe that is true in the old paradigm. But as we are really going into mastery of what it is to be the advanced or superhuman, and we're starting to shift that, when we start to activate the DMT in our DNA, we become the most advanced technology there is. And I think we're starting to prove that, right? We are proving this, that our body already knows that it is at a higher level of potential than what we are experiencing right now. So taking that and now shifting it back to this report. So what it's showing is, so with my report, the when I did it 10 and a half months ago or so, it was a half a point more than it is now, which, in 10 months, that's kind of a big deal. Like, so that's like almost, well, like 20 days, let's say, that I'm aging less in a year. In 10 months, I was able to reverse that. So let's just say that we can't continue on this journey, and we continue to reverse how fast we're aging. So the best score has been 6 months in a year, which is my goal to get to. But I'm not going to stop there, because what if once we start to turn on 100% of our DNA potential and we really become the quantum body, we're able to get to zero. And then what is that saying? That's saying that for a chronological year, that we're not actually aging. And I
It's like
know
you're sitting in the 0 point.
you're in the 0 point, and, like,
Mhm,
really
mhm.
feel into that, like, really don't think about it from here, don't think about it from the intellect, think about that from your body, let your body turn on, and and if it lights up in any way, there's a reason for that, because your body remembers that that is the experience it's already supposed to be having.
And I think that's why I brought it. I could hear Dave Asprey's voice, and I could hear, because that was our old way of thinking. And we do need to get it out of our head and out of that loop, because that's what's been keeping us trapped in that 10%. If we really do want to start accessing all of our potential, we need to allow the body, the cells, to start to attune to a frequency outside of that programming. So I love that you're bridging all this in and bringing it into the 0 point, because if you really do sit in it, you're right. Like, there is no time in 0 point.
And it feels good. I mean,
And it
just
feels
now,
good.
just talking about it, you can feel my body just attuning to it, and it's just like home. It's like, yes, this is where I belong. I don't belong in all these loops and all these programs and these belief systems that keep us limited. It is limiting. And I think we've
Yeah.
said this in a couple of podcasts back, where if we're only focusing on what's been studied through what we can see, what we can feel, what we can experience with our five basic senses, then we're missing out on the other 90% that we can access through that sixth sense. And that sixth sense is just as real and just as powerful as our basic five senses, but we are just focusing everything over here. And what has that gotten us? Like,
The
I mean, we
same.
all know on an innate
This,
level that we're not supposed to age and that we're not supposed to keep looping in all of these things. And we're doing amazing things with this 10%. Don't get me wrong, we're doing amazing things with this 10%. But this other 90% is so much easier. And I think it's like I keep saying this is like, I think we're proving it, but we are proving it.
we are. We
It
are.
kind of blows my mind, but it doesn't at the same time.
Yeah, and you don't need to go and sit in meditation and stay there and hold it. Like, this is where we literally are turning it inside out, and the cells are holding that vibration, or and are sitting in that 0 point field. And then it just frees up so much. I don't know, it just feels light. It takes away all the density, um that's freeing.
It is freeing. What I was just thinking as you were saying that is well, this is our challenge. This is what I want to challenge everybody to do. When you get off of listening to this podcast, I want you to pay attention to how many times throughout your day that you identify with a thought that is showing you something through observation of form. So, an example of that would be my knee hurts.
Mhm.
I have a wrinkle. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm tired. Like, you're naming your experience through your five senses. Okay. Just how many times a day you're doing that. Then, every single time that you notice that you're doing it, I want you to stop and just be like, okay, well, that's my experience through my five senses. What is the experience of this exact same thing if I'm having it through the sixth sense? And just ask. And then just let yourself be curious about what that is. Just starting to turn your attention and your focus over here. Even if you don't know how, just by asking and shifting your focus to observing something that you don't already know with your five senses is going to start to awaken the quantum body.
I love that you say that. Just this morning in my walk, I've been really playing and timelines and letting go of outcome. If I do this, this will happen. What if I take this road, and just the control and all that. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. But then, as you say, tap into that sixth sense. I'm walking and I'm tapping into the sixth sense, and I just kept hearing, just let go of it. Just sit in the now, because you're safe right now. As soon as I did that, my cells started to vibrate in that 0 point frequency. And if we could really start to master just doing that in every now present moment, it frees up so much potential, and you get to release all that density and worry and all that icky vibrational stuff.
That reminded me of, and you'll see this on our new website. So definitely go there to becomingbioquantum.com. And you'll see on the homepage that it has the average human vibrates at 7.5. And the frequency of our innate being that's stored on a DNA level, the DMT, is 963. That's a huge frequency jump. And we're not talking about measuring an emotion. We're not talking about measuring the frequency of joy or shame, like what you're feeling. We're talking about your body is vibrating at about 7.5. When we get your cells in the vibration of 963, just imagine what the experience of the body will be. And that's what we're inviting you into. It's time to turn the cells on and to have the cells actually hold that frequency. And how do you do that? By activating DMT. That frequency is stored and transcribed in your DNA. So, and how do we access that? By stop focusing here and inviting this experience to come online. Because when we start to do that, we allow the cells to start vibrating where they already know that they should be, and they stop looping in the experience of our five senses. This is only 10% of who we are. And so when you were saying that, I was like, gosh, that is so perfect, because we so want to identify in what we can control, what the outcome's going to be. We start looping in all of the things that are going on in our brains, and or what's happening in our body, or what's happening over here. And it's all being measured through our programming.
Mm-hmm. So true. So pace of aging, mine currently is, bring it back to True Diagnostics, is 0.88, and yours was what?
0.82.
Okay. Challenge you.
Challenge,
You challenge me.
So
let's challenge everyone.
What's the challenge here? We're going to continue activating DMT through the DMT codes and the amazing products. Like, definitely gonna up my accelerator, the particle accelerator supplement. I actually just got the hit to start taking 2 a day. So I just started doing that a couple of days ago. And so let's say in another 3 months' time, we'll retake the test.
Oh yeah, 100%. I want to do that by the end of the year. I love it. I love it. So much fun. Get quantum curious, explore. Let's break timelines because they don't exist. And start to really hold the frequency of 963 and see how we can transform our human experience.
You know what I'm getting is, before we get back, we should do a DMT activation. Let's do it. Let's just pull 3 cards to support everybody in kind of awakening that other 90%. I have the cards here. Do you want to do yours?
Okay, you do it. You do it. I'll just do my thing.
Okay, so we got, the first code is the 11, the 5, and the 7. Okay.
Right.
So we're just gonna do this really fast. We won't make it into a big thing. So if you have your copper card, awesome.
Yeah, I have it. I'll do it the copper card at the same time.
So just bringing that 11 into the pineal gland and just feeling, just by looking at this, you can start to feel your body turn on. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay. It's happening anyways. Just have to remember that our intellect is not going to take us here. Just inviting the body to turn on. That's all you're doing.
It's there.
And then we'll go to the second code. Just inviting that frequency to turn on. So the frequency is every code is holding the frequency of 963, but each code is doing something a little different. So you can see it as kind of Googling through the frequency of an intelligence that's held in 963, but you're Googling different information. That's how you can see these codes. And then the last code is the 7. So let's just read what the information is. So the first code was the 11. It's the ability to hold consciousness outside of programming. The 5 is the ability to shift into, well, whatever the shift is. And so in this case, the shift brought you right into the 7, which is communication.
Well, and what I also read from that, which I love, which brought it right back to our conversation, breaking those looping cycles, those timelines, and then shifting into your success.
Yes. So the 7 is the sixth sense. It's the ability to actually receive information. So
it's
it
a
starts with
perfect
consciousness
code.
outside of the programming that's creating the shift, meaning going from our 10% to shifting over to experiencing this other 90%. And then the last one is that we can still have communication, like we can still receive if or hold thought, but it's thought that is outside of a programming that is being held outside of a timeline. So we can still have the experience of quote unquote real life, but be in a body that's at 0 point, that is truly in 100% potential. And just think about what that would be like. That's all we're inviting you to. It's just
That's thoughts outside of fear, really, essentially.
yeah. It's kind of exciting to think about what that would be like. And as we kind of explore, even if it's just with our imagination, we're at least tapping into something outside of our programming. And that's all we're inviting you guys to do. Because outside of looping in those programming and considering everything that's real is only something that we can measure by our 5 senses, all we're asking is that you start to tune into that 6th sense, because it is a real thing. And that in that, you're going to discover just how powerful you are.
I love it. My whole body's tingling like in the Twilight movies.
All right, everyone.
All
Well,
right.
fun. Definitely go exploring, and we will see you next time.